Hey y'all, I'm back. So this is just another video because I just wanted to ramble. Y'all know I love to get on here and ramble and talk. Just talking about my spiritual journey because I haven't talked about it on here in quite some time. Like, I've talked about things I want to do spiritually just when I was kind of reposting things from IG, but to kind of go into depth about my spiritual journey, because if you're here on YouTube, then you kind of had a front row seat to it. Before I went full multi in it, like full body. But just to kind of explain the origins of Ashleysa, actually what it means too, because I think that even though I've done that on IG like a while ago, just saying, hey, this is why this is called this, but just giving people like an updated story version. So if they ever like, what is Ashleysa, why is this a spiritual channel, or why are we doing cards and all things, they can refer back to this video. So Ashleysa started in, I want to say 2018, the end. So happy birthday to Ashleysa. Every December 18th is her birthday, her specific birthday, and she is a secret little Sagittarius, secret little Capricorn situation, like kind of cuspy vibe, because at the time it was just a lot going on. It was really just a lot. I wanted to do something. I wanted to build a business. I wanted it to be a spiritual business, and I just knew I could get something off, and I felt like that was it. I came up with the name on a live here on YouTube. I was dropping my son off at school. I used to get on live and just kind of talk, be in the car. People hate it when I was driving and doing lives, but it was the only way for me to get it done where I wasn't uninterrupted. But we were driving and dropping my son off to school, and I was looking crazy. Like, I ain't washed my face, nothing. I just hurried up and threw him in the car and tried to get him to school on time. So I'm like, damn, I'm all ashy on here looking crazy, ashy Larry. And shout out to Donald Rollins. I really, really love him and appreciate him. I think he's hilarious. And he was on a Chappelle show, and he had the character, you know, Ashy Larry. So I said, well, shit, I'm Ashy Lisa then. Shit, just ashy and just ashy. Looking crazy. And then when I went to, like, set up my website, set up the business end of things, I said, well, let's do Ashleysa. I don't want it to be named after me. My name is Koren, but I don't want it to be named after me. I want it to be its own thing, and very unique. And a lot of that time around 2018, right before the pandemic, 2017, 2015, a lot of people were getting very spiritual, okay? Real spiritual. And I didn't want to be, you know, like anything like anybody else. I didn't want to be the trap witch. I didn't want to be any of those things. Love the Girls Den or the Hood Healer. I didn't want to do any of those. So I said Ashleysa works. So that's why I chose that name for my business. When we first started, we were doing guides. So we did one on Love and Money, which is still up to this day. It's free on ashleysa.com. You can just download it. The site is down, so don't go do that right now. But in a couple weeks, you can go download it for free. We also did the Money, Manifest and Money book. So I did those two, and then it eventually grew to a product line where we included sprays, oils, and body washes. And then we just started going from there. We eventually added, you know, spiritual readings, oracle, and tarot readings. We added event sessions, classes. We did all the zooms and whams. Like, we still do. You know, the website's still up and going. The business is still going. 6 years in, thank God. But we just continued to grow at that time. At first, I did not want to do any physical products because, like I said, this was around the time that spirituality was having a boom. It got even bigger during the pandemic, but this was like just prior to the pandemic in 2018. And I was just, you know, researching, looking at a lot of people's, what they were presenting, what they were doing, and how they were doing their things, and the people I followed and I enjoyed, which there's a video up on my page at some place from that time where I was expressing the people that I was, you know, kind of fucking with at the time, and I still do to this day. But just seeing how people were handling things, and I was just like, yeah, I don't want to get into the physical product space, but I had no problem doing these little e-guides. I've always liked to write and share and educate. So at that time we were going to stop there, but Spirit don't really listen, and it gets a little crazy over here. At this point, I don't even know how many products I have. Well over 100 between oils, body sprays. We've also done shampoo. We've done soaps, like handmade soaps. I made handmade soaps for quite some time. Powders, you name it. Ashleysa done had it. The only thing I didn't get into was incense, because she's a little messy to kind of make. But yeah, we had everything, and we still, to this point, it's up until this day, we do sell products and things like that. But yeah, it just kept growing. I kept getting ideas, and I kept getting requests, and it continued to grow into what it is now. My spiritual journey also publicly kind of became more concentrated in the, I guess, tarot space or reading cards, doing readings around that time, around 2019. That's where that kind of took off. I was doing it a little bit before in 2018, but I wasn't public with it. Like, I wasn't selling it or telling anybody I could do it. And then I got to go ahead and do it in 2019. And it's been up and it's stuck. The girls love a good live. As you've seen on this channel, if you go back a little bit, you'll see some of the lives that were saved from when I was doing readings over here. I would do readings on IG and then have YouTube going as well. We've done Facebook. We've done all the things, okay? So that's where that started. I picked that up because I was watching a lot of readers, and I was like, oh, that seemed like, that's fly and shit. Like, I like that. That's kind of cool. I would love to learn how to do that. And then once you start, you can't stop. Yeah. At first I was collecting them just because I like to do it for my own personal purposes, and then I started doing it for other people, and it just went from there. And a lot of intuitive stuff and gifts were released once I started doing it more regularly. So not everything that I'm reading is from specific, like a card deck. Sometimes it's intuitive insights and things like that, and guidance. And that only came from, working that muscle for me. The journey started because my brother passed away in 2018. He passed away in April of 2018, and Ashley Lisa was up and ready to go by December of 2018. Sister was, I really had a hard 2018. And I think him transitioning opened me up to ancestors even more, and opened me up to a communication and a relationship with them. Also, the journey in hoodoo also came along with that, because it is a lot of ancestor veneration. And becoming a hoodoo is not something that started in 2018. It just became more public, right? So that journey started there, and that's why that started. Prior to that, it was spiritual awakening after my brother passed away. We did a lot of the secrets, so a lot of manifesting. I talked about that when I first got that in 2011. You can see me talking about that on my channel, and how that worked for me, and it worked very well, and I still use those techniques to this day. Even around 2011, I was looking into the occult space. I wasn't into cards or anything like that in 2011, but I was looking at, spiritual journeys, people speaking about spiritual things, a lot of Hotep-isms, a lot of hidden colors. You know what I mean? I had a little hidden color journey. It was very brief, but I had a little hidden color journey. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but it's not resonating deeply enough where it's like something I want to be public about. But when I got The Secret, I was like, oh yeah, this shit hitting. And then it just kind of went from there. And then my brother passed away. Then I was able to access, a lot more of my spiritual gifts and talents. And that's how we got to here. That's how we got to this spiritual journey, honey. Somebody had to die. Shout out to the Illuminati. That's a joke. That is a complete and utter joke. Terrible joke at that. But somebody had to die in order for me to be Ashley Lisa. If my brother was still here, I don't know if I may have had the same experience. It may have just stayed more private. I don't think I would have went and made a business or made it commercial or made it, monetized it. I probably would have just did it for my folks and did it for myself and left it alone. But like I said, just knowing that connection and him pushing me and supporting me in that was really, really important. So it's got me to where I am today. Okay. So, you can let me know what your spiritual journey has been like in the comments. Also, side note, prior to that, I was born in an AMU church, African United Methodist Church. AUME, Episcopal is the E. And growing up in that, I went to Catholic school as well, for 5 years, K through 4. So I had a lot of Catholicism and learning about Mass. I didn't participate, but learning about Mass, attending, learning religion in school, which is the only thing I passed there with flying colors. If I was going to get an A or a B, it was going to be in religion. So I'm very steeped in religious practices, Abrahamic specifically, prior to my own occult and spiritual journey that is separate from, you know, an Abrahamic religion. I'm very well versed in Muslims, in the Muslim faith, right? Because I live close to Philly. I have Muslims in my family. I've had a lot of experience with them in workspaces, so I understand from a Western point of view as well as a Middle Eastern point of view. Have a lot of experience, hence why I could be a spiritual advisor, because I'm not just talking about Hoodoo or African traditional religions. I can speak on any religion with confidence and with correct, you know, support. So that's where we're at. You know, so like I said, I'm in the game. I got some skin in the game. I've been trying to be drafted. Kingdom Hall tried to draft me. The Jehovah tried to draft me. Other, you know, Christian faiths have tried to draft me, you know, bring me into the situations. I said no to all of them because I knew what my path was. I've had other ATRs being interested and wanting, you know, me seeking out those other ATRs and then wanting me to come on and stuff like that. But, you know, I'm going to be a hoodoo till I go. It's just, that's my lot. You know, hear this go around. You couldn't get me off them dead people. You can't get me off my ancestors. You can't get me off my ancestral practices. So I think that is important to also highlight, that I am sought after. People are interested in me, but I'm not interested in them, you know, because I have my own ancestral practices that I believe in and I know that work. So you can let me know what your spiritual journey has been like below, and then we'll go from there, because this video is long as hell. I didn't mean for it to go this long, but we on YouTube, so I can yap. Yeah, you watch it, you don't. Okay, but we'll see you on the next one. Bye.